Well, there's a great deal of argument at the moment in the US that there should be some further cuts made to bodies like NPR, because you talk about the fourth estate. At least when you look at The View, it's privately funded. If some fool wants to plough their money into that enterprise, good luck to them. But when you've got taxpayer-funded media spewing out lies and divisive race, gender, trans ideology, really, what justification is there for that funding to continue, Josh?
There's not. There is precisely zero justification for it to continue, whether it's NPR, whether it's PBS. There is simply no need for any taxpayer subsidization of any kind of media outlet here. I mean, maybe there was a role for that when in the very early days of radio, in the very early days of television, but in today's day and age, especially when a lot of people are cutting the cord in general, when they're cutting the cord when it comes to both radio and cable news, people are getting the news increasingly online. Oftentimes here in America, there's just no need for the American taxpayer to be involved in this here. Ideally, this is the kind of thing that DOGE under Elon Musk would actually look at. There is trimming fat like this. Conservatives have been saying this basically since the Reagan administration for the past 4 decades. Trump's the kind of guy who, I mean, he's the kind of guy who comes in there and he can actually hopefully get this done. I think it's a very good idea, frankly.
Now, before you go, there's some sobering data for the Democrats that confirms what we've been discussing. This polling is abysmal. Newsweek reports that enthusiasm for the Democrat Party has continued to plummet since the November election. The party is at its highest unfavourability level. We've got data here showing 31% of voters have a favourable view of the Democrat Party compared to 57% holding an unfavourable view. Josh, this is precisely what we've been talking about. Nothing we have seen since November, since January 20, shows that they get what the problem is and they're going to go about fixing it.
They don't, and it's because they're elites. So the elites of the Democratic Party, the people like Sonny Hostin on The View, the people like Jonathan Capehart there on that stage there was this massive chasm. I mean, there was a gargantuan galactical chasm between Democratic Party elites and the mainstream American citizen, like the so-called deplorables of Hillary Clinton, the bitter clingers, Barack Obama. But even on the left side of the aisle, even on the Democratic side of the aisle, there is a large chasm between Democratic elites and the everyday median Democrat there. And until that chasm is shrunk, until they find some way to focus yet again on blue-collar, working-class economic issues, by the way, economic issues that I may or may not personally agree with, but at least they'll be focused on the actual day-to-day concerns rather than focus on these abstract, pseudo-academic, Marxist claptrap, gender, racial, immigration theory garbage, the likes of which American people are basically just flipping 2 middle fingers at them consistently. And I don't know at this point what the heck has to happen. I mean, do Republicans need to get 70 U.S. Senate seats? Do they need to get a 30, 40 seat advantage in the U.S. House? Do they need to get like a 9-0 advantage in the United States Supreme Court? I don't know, honestly, what it's going to take for them to get the message. But hopefully at some point, I don't know, Rita. I mean, they're not going to learn, honestly. And yet again, as a conservative Republican, I'm pretty happy about that.
Josh Hammer, thank you so much for your time this evening.